So the big tax question is this: how do wealthy people keep their money working for them when selling their business, real estate, or other highly appreciated assets without paying hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars in tax? What if we, as business and real estate owners who have poured blood, sweat, and tears to growing our wealth, and who didn't hire expensive tax attorneys and CPAs to map out an exit strategy, knew their secrets? Instead of recreating the wheel, why can't we just model the way they deferred 30 to 50% in tax, paid off debt, funded their next business dream, and most importantly, leave a financial legacy to give to the causes we believe in most? What if their secrets weren't complicated at all, and you just need a guide who is a few steps ahead of you? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brett Swarts, and welcome to Capital Gains Tax Solutions. Welcome to the Build It to Billions podcast, where we guide successful entrepreneurs and investors on their journey from millions to billions. We believe the key to scaling and compounding your wealth and life starts every single day with the mindset and practice of stewardship over ownership and applying billionaire biblical principles. Our ultimate goal is to help you scale and compound your wealth and life so you can give more or all of it away for MVPs. My name is Brett Swarts. Each and every episode, I'm joined by some of the world's top entrepreneurs, millionaires, and billionaires, where they share their insights and secrets with us so we can be wiser, we can be smarter, and we can make better decisions. I'm excited about our next guest. He's out of the state of Texas, and he is focused on building and helping us all build done-for-you future trading systems. Built by ex-Goldman Sachs traders. They've engineered a trading system that is used by some top 1% of future traders, and they're managing over about $4.5 million in capital now, generating 6% monthly returns. And we're going to be talking about basically how to build wealth with futures trading. Please welcome to the show with me, Mr. Kam Dasani. Kam, how are you doing?
Fantastic, Brett. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for our listeners getting to know you for the first time, would you give us just a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
Yeah. To get right to the point, I'm somebody that went from making, 150, 200 grand a year in tech sales in the Silicon Valley to now, on a $2.5 million run rate. The biggest shift I made was understanding that you can't focus on investments that preserve wealth until you find a way to actually accelerate your wealth. And most 9-to-5s, even high-level tech careers in the Silicon Valley, aren't going to do that. So that's what I'm here to talk about today, kind of the trading journey that took me to location freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom.
Excellent. So let's start with that. What is the number one secret to accelerating your wealth to start?
Yeah. So like I said, most of the things that we are taught preserve wealth. They don't accelerate wealth. So what are those things? There's levels to investing. There's 401k, which anybody with a job can do. That's going to get you a 4% return. And why are they able to give you a 4% return? Well, because they're doing bigger things, right? They're doing things that are more lucrative because you're too average-minded or unsophisticated of an investor, and they know you'll think that's a good choice. So they'll give you 4%. Then we have traditional index funds, which are great if you already have a lot of money. But nobody actually got rich from investing a couple grand a month in the S&P 500. It's not a story that's ever been told, because even if you do that for 30 years, yeah, maybe you'll end up with a few hundred grand, but can you retire from that? No, you'll live off of that for a couple of years and then you're screwed again. So the reality is retirement plans don't actually get you to retirement. What you have to do is find something more lucrative. So whether that is a high income skill, doesn't necessarily have to be trading, but that was my thing. So the first thing that I learned to really accelerate wealth, trading options, and specifically swing trading. Why swing trading? Because when I had a corporate job, I didn't have the time to day trade and sit and look at charts all day and be on the market all day. What I did have time to do is work my job while strategically entering certain trades where I could buy on one day and sell on a completely different day. So I didn't have to monitor things and worry about short-term market fluctuations, because swing trades allow you to make predictions about what's happening in the stock market and wait out the time until those predictions come true. So that was my first step. We can take a short pause and dive into wherever you want.
Got it. So it sounds like finding and understanding that, what your returns are on your investment. So 401k can be pretty low, index funds, right? Great way to once you have the wealth, maybe to preserve it. But if you really want to get traction on accelerating your wealth, and then you get to find something that's gonna just return more. Is that a fair summary so far?
100%.
Okay, so now focusing like a laser on yours, on your swing trades is how we're going to define it today. So what's the number one secret to swing trades?
The number one secret to swing trades is first finding a team of swing traders that actually worked on Wall Street, which is what I did back in 2018. My first fintech job, I worked at a company called Veeam. Two of the biggest investors were Google and Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, obviously being one of the largest investment banks / hedge funds in the world, I was able to just network with the right people. My sales manager was very into options trading, and he taught me the ropes in the beginning and showed me, okay, Kam, I know you don't have the time to do all this technical analysis, but why don't you just follow my trades, because I have somebody calling these trades for me. So I was like, okay, I'm making $1,000 here, $1,000 there. How can I make this more lucrative? Well, I went on the hunt to find the best options traders. And the secret to that, actually finding the best options swing traders, are realizing that those people aren't even on social media. So whenever people ask me, Kam, are you the best options trader, or why should I work with you? I straight up tell them, look, I work with people that do not have a personal brand. They are full-time traders, and they used to work on Wall Street and realized that even for them, it's more lucrative to trade their own money than stay on salary and show up in a suit and tie on Wall Street. Most people don't know this, but if you actually work for Goldman Sachs, you can't even trade your own capital. It's against the rules, because technically you have the insider edge just from working there, right? But what if you're like a product manager and you're making like 150? Nothing wrong with making 150, but if you know how to trade, you're better off trading your own capital, because it doesn't take a lot of time either. So instead of showing up at 6 a.m. to work, putting on a suit and tie, walking in the windy streets of New York, and hoping that like that's going to take you to the top, why not just trade your own capital, spend a couple hours a day doing it, and live wherever you want to live at any point?
Got it. So that's kind of the framework there is basically learning a skill set such as swing trading, so that you can have more location time, financial freedom, and accelerate the wealth. Okay. So, and then the secret is finding a team who's already done that and has that experience, and then I guess hiring them, or what do you mean by, or learning from them, or walk us through that next step?
Well, so that's exactly what I did. So I went to them originally back in 2018, 2019, and I said, hey, what you guys do is extremely valuable. I know you guys like trade for yourselves, and kind of like, I know you, like we're friends, but what if I paid you to really teach me how to do this? And that's what I did. I paid for their time and their expertise. And then I realized, okay, all my friends want to learn from me. All these people that I work with in corporate in Silicon Valley want to learn from me. I'm still not the master though, but these guys are. So I said, hey, let me partner with them, start a business, helping people do exactly what these traders taught me, and we were off to the races from there.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. So you're learning from the best, and then you're teaching along the way and sharing your journey. By the way, people want to learn more about Kam Dasani, you can go to his Instagram, which is Profit with Kam, spelled Kam, Profit with Kam on Instagram. Okay, so what's the next step? So someone says, yeah, I'm interested. I want to accelerate my wealth. I want to learn about futures trading. So what's maybe the foundational piece that you start with when you're teaching or coaching those who are working with you?
Yeah. So first step, I would say, number one, we have a 14-day free trial. A lot of people don't do this, and I do this because we're very, very confident in our results. So once you come in, you can first learn the first step, which is swing trading, which is the most time efficient way to see better returns in the stock market. The first step is actually understanding why that is the case. So I'll give you an example of a trade we did earlier this year. It was an NVIDIA call. For those of you that don't know, what that means is we're making a prediction that NVIDIA is going to go up to a certain price by a certain date. Now, most people in the world, if they're even going to buy NVIDIA stock, it's going to be just buying stock, meaning, oh, I'm just going to put $10,000 into NVIDIA, and then obviously over time it's going to go up because they're a good company. Cool. Well, the market is only going to reward you so much for that prediction because it's not that strategic. Like anybody with a brain knows that NVIDIA is a good company. So to prove my point, if you put $10,000 into NVIDIA in March and waited until May, you would have made like $1,200 just with where the market went. Cool. Not life-changing, decent investment. You're probably just going to hold and let it keep growing for the next 5 to 10 years. What we did is we put $10,000 into a specific NVIDIA prediction saying NVIDIA is going to go to this price by this date. That's what an options trade is. And in a matter of a month, actually 31 days to be exact, we did a 300% return. So you took your 10K, you made a 300% return on it. And that's a lot more life-changing to your cash flow and your day-to-day and the life that you can live if you continue to hit those types of trades and make those types of predictions over and over. And it takes the same amount of time, by the way. So to actually buy stock on Robinhood and make an options trade, it only takes 4 clicks versus 1 click. Buying stocks takes 1 click. Options takes 4 clicks, meaning you pick the stock, you pick the prediction, you pick the date the prediction should come true by, and you pick how heavy you want to invest. 4 things to pick. The hard part is picking the right things, which is why I built what I built, so people don't have to worry about that. We can just get people the returns that they want.
Okay, so let's walk through that. And thank you for sharing. That was a really great example. So NVIDIA stock, 10,000. One way is just buying it, waiting from March to May, make $1,200, right? And then otherwise, if you did the call, you're predicting a date by a certain time. It went up to $13,000 total, right? So 10 to 13,000. So it's a 300% return. Is that a fair summary so far?
Not to 13,000. So
10,000 didn't turn into 300% return, or was I did that math wrong, or?
Just the math was off, yeah. So 10,000.
Oh, what am I thinking? I guess it would be 30,000, right? It just times by 3. Yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah. 30% would be 13,000. Yeah. Wow. So, how long? What was the expiration of the call? So, what would it have? How many days? You said you did it in 31 days, but how long did you have on that call?
Yeah, I'm actually going to pull it up so I can get it to you exactly. So
it can be approximate too, yeah.
The exact prediction on April 15th. We did an NVIDIA $120 call, expiration May 16th. So April 15th to May 16th, that's about a month, a little over a month. And we did a 369% return. So on our 10 grand, what is a 369% return on 10K? Let's see. 3.69x your profit. So we went from 10K, we made $36,900 in a month.
About $37,000. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So breaking that back down. So you said $120. Is that what was at risk?
So $120 call means we're predicting that NVIDIA is going to go to $120 a share.
Got it.
By May 16th.
Got it. Okay, got it. And what was that risk? So if it had not done that, what would have happened to your 10,000?
Yeah. So on the 10,000, the last part of the options contract and just options in general is how much you're putting up, right? Mm-hmm. What is your investment? So for us, $328 was the contract price at the time. That's what we bought in at. So 10 grand is still your risk, but if you were someone else, maybe one of my clients, maybe you only risked $328. That's the minimum to get in. Maybe you only risked $328 times 2, times 3, times 4. We just happened to put 10 grand in. So whatever the math is on that is irrelevant. But like the point is, you put up what you want to put up into the trade, and if you see a 369% return, then certain people are going to make more money than others just based on what they put into the trade. Okay, got it. I think I got it pretty good. So had it not hit that price, you would have lost at $328. Is that what you're saying? 328, yeah.
And then potentially also the value of just the stock itself is going to fluctuate from 10,000 to 9,000 or whatever, or
correct.
Right. So that's going to happen no matter what happens on this. But you're basically saying for $328, I'm betting in 30 days, it's going to go to at least this price.
Correct.
And if so, boom, that's when I've got this 3.69x return. Is that a fair summary?
You got it.
Okay, got it. And well, that's great. And then all right, so then that's the rosy story, right? Give us some of the the not so rosy story where like, we did this one and we missed, but this has been the outcome. Can you give us maybe an example of that? Kam?
Yeah, of course. So I have my spreadsheet up here and I'm looking at the red, right? And this is the thing that beginners, when they get into options trading, especially clients of mine, they get a little scared because they see a lot of short-term market fluctuation. Mm-hmm. But what you have to remember is that every options trade has an expiration date, which means I don't care if it drops 20% if the trade hasn't expired. I probably won't tell you to get out because there's a reason we made the prediction to happen by a certain date, because we're waiting closer and closer to that date for that prediction to come true. A lot of people get emotional and they think, oh, I'm losing money. It's like, you're not losing money until the trade ends, right? Mm-hmm. Have we had some trades end in the red? Of course. Nobody can have a 100% success rate. That's impossible. So, for example, I'm looking at a red one here. We did a Tesla 400 call on May 14th, and it expired on June 6th. So a little less than a month, $660 per contract, which means the minimum you could have put up is $660. Let's just say for the average person buying one options contract, well, they would have lost 20% on that 660. So why would they only lose 20%? Well, because we told people, hey, this is actually one of those trades that's not going in our direction due to new news, new technical analysis that we've done. So let's take our loss at 20%. A lot of people, they'll lose their whole investment, $660 per one contract, because they wait until it gets so bad. So the whole point of risk management, and this is the hardest part of trading, in my opinion, it's mindset based, because sometimes you have to take a 20% loss and move on to the next trade. Other times, you need to wait it out until the trade returns in your favor.
Got it. That's the dynamics of all this. By the way, you can learn more about Kam Dasani by going to @ProfitWithKam on Instagram. It's @ProfitWithKam, so with a K, Kam on Instagram. Okay, I'm liking what I'm hearing. And so walk us through the next steps. So someone's like, okay, I like to, start, and I like to, be able to get some excess returns and jump into this. What is it like to work with you and your team, Kam?
Yeah. So right now we're doing a 14-day trial. What happens in the 14-day trial is you come in and you can scroll as long as you want in the Discord, looking at our wins and losses. We post everything live so you can see it. We also have a live stream that's open all day during trading hours, which means you can come on and talk to our traders live, look at the charts with us, learn what we're learning, and understand the why behind our trades. That doesn't mean we necessarily need to make you an expert, because the biggest part of our service is you are able to copy our trades at your own discretion, which means you'll know why you're doing what you're doing, but at the end of the day, you need to trust our team and our resume of traders that actually worked on Wall Street, that built algorithms at Goldman Sachs. One of my traders, Mehul Patel, my partner, that's the next step, right? So let's say 14-day trial comes in. Most people that actually do the trial move forward, assuming they actually have a budget to trade with, which is the next part, okay? What do you actually need to trade to make this worth it? Well, yeah, I mentioned trades earlier where, you only need $328 to get in, but is that going to be worth your time? Yes and no. It just depends on how you value your time. The way I put it is you want to have a few grand that you can put into a Robinhood account and start getting into trades with us, because we're not in one trade at a time. We're in multiple, okay? You want to have the budget to get into multiple contracts per trade. So instead of $328 times 1, $328 times 5. Okay. So if you have a few grand, you can get into more trades faster and see quicker returns. Okay. On top of that, for people that maybe they don't have a lot of cash to play with, we have lenders that'll give you capital to trade with. As risky as that sounds, this is exactly what I did. I leveraged $92,000 7 years ago to make ridiculous amounts of money in the stock market, because I was able to leverage credit at 0% interest, which means if you have a good credit score, the bank will give you credit with no interest for 2 years, sometimes one. It just depends on whether you're working with Chase or American Express. But we have these relationships in place because we know that if we give you money, you're actually going to see a return and you're going to pay the banks back. And that's why we have these relationships with these banks, because they know that as well. So it's a whole loop of money in an ecosystem that allows people to go from where they're at to where they really want to go. And at the end of the day, you need money to play any game. If you want to go into real estate, you're going to need a lot more money than you need than a few grand like you do in the stock market. It's just the reality.
Got it. Thank you for sharing that. Robinhood versus Schwab or versus other ones. You keep saying Robinhood. Is there a particular reason, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Robinhood is the most user-friendly.
Okay.
Most of our clients use Robinhood with us. We have clients that were using Schwab before, or Merrill Lynch, or if you're in Canada, whatever brokerage they use there. I can't remember. We have a few Canadians. We have UK clients in the UK, clients in New Zealand. But Robinhood is great. If you like Webull's interface, Webull's fine too. But Robinhood is really easy to learn.
Okay, got it. And then you said average returns around 6% per month.
No, so let me get clear on that. That's on our futures side, which is a whole different. Futures and options are different beasts. So I don't even want to necessarily go into futures on this episode, because for people that are trying to start out, futures is not going to work for you. It's a lot of time, and it takes a lot of effort, which is actually why we built our algorithm for the past 3 years to automate that. So for people, side note, for people that have 15 to 20 grand saved and they want something fully passive, our algorithm's done a 300% return for the past year, testing with our own money. We're just starting to release this to clients because we've proved the concept. So for anybody that wants to see that data live, happy to get on a call and show it to you live.
Okay, so let's start there. So I have $100,000, and I'm like, okay, I like that. I want the passive part of it, right? So what does that look like? And walk us through how that works.
Yeah. So it's literally an AI algorithm that my partner, Mehul Patel, he's a rocket scientist that used to work at Goldman. He built a futures algorithm for Goldman.
He's really smart. I got it. Yeah.
Smart, sharp, knows his stuff. Basically, you create a brokerage account. You can use NinjaTrader. You can use TradeEvade. Those are the main futures brokerage account. Very different than options in Robinhood. We connect our algorithm to it, and it does everything for you. We manage all the back end. So we don't manage your funds. Like, you don't send us money and we don't manage it. It's literally all in your control. And the algorithm is built to trade futures, which is very similar to options, but it's about the indexes of the stock market, not individual stocks. Example, instead of trading Tesla or Nvidia, you're trading the S&P 500 or NASDAQ. It's the exact same concept, though. The algorithm is making predictions about what's happening to indexes by certain dates. And that's what it does. So everything that Mehul learned at Goldman, he's basically built into an AI algorithm that automates these trades at a very, very rapid rate.
Okay, so what's the average return and the cost for the service and the commitment for someone who's interested?
Yeah, so we offer custom pricing based on scope of work. However, the minimum to even put in the algorithm for it to work, because it does so many trades so quickly, is 15K. 20K is ideal, but you need 15K. Now, if you're not there yet, like I said, options trading is a better way to start with a few grand, right? So the Ascension plan for all of my clients is you swing trade, and we have hundreds of clients right now, active, okay? I think we're in between 300 and 400 right now. You start with swing trading, stack your money, and then diversify it into the algorithm as well.
Okay, but if you have 15, 20K and you want it to be passive, you could jump straight to that. And you say custom pricing. I don't know what that means. So What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So the same way any software company charges based on scope of work, meaning the more value we can offer to you, the more we want in return. There's no list price where we're just like, hey, everybody pays this. It's like, no, if you have $500,000 and you want us to manage it, well, we're going to charge you a higher monthly fee. It's just what it is.
Yeah, okay.
So we have to get on a call to discuss how much value we're bringing to you and what the custom scope of work would be, and then pricing is determined.
But an average of if someone had $1 million or 500,000 or 250, it's like a percentage of that, or it's a how do you determine?
There's still a flat performance fee. Once again, I don't like to release all that publicly, but there is a monthly fee. just for management, and then there's a flat performance fee. The flat performance fee is the same because obviously if you have $500,000 versus 100,000, the percentage that we would charge is the same. Now, if people are wondering about the legalities, remember, why is it legal? Well, because you still have to send us the money. So we're relying on you to pay us every quarter, and we know you will because if we're making you money, why wouldn't you keep paying? Right? So it's all in your favor at the end of the day.
No, at the end of the day, like if you're performing well and getting these kind of returns, and then that's great. Okay, so what haven't I asked you so far that I should have asked you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is understanding like what is the alternative and why have I gotten to where I'm at? Like I said, making multiple millions of dollars a year, $2.5 million a year at this point, at 30 years old. Why is this possible? And it comes down to a few things. The first thing is constantly challenging the status quo. I was never willing to settle for the simple life of live in the Bay Area, pay really expensive rent or mortgage one day, drive a C-Class just because like I want to keep up with the neighbors and whatever, and have kids and like pay bills and die. Like I was not willing to settle for that. The vision I had for my life, and a lot of people probably have this as well, especially if you're working a high intensity corporate job, is you do not want 10 days or 14 days of paid time off a year. I know you don't. But you're willing to settle because you don't know what else is out there. So when you look at risk, most people look at risk and say, this is risky. Oh, trading with leverage is risky. Oh, 0% credit, that must be risky. All of these things Kam is saying must be risky. What's the alternative? Challenge the status quo. The alternative is do this forever, whatever you're doing, unless you love it and that's what you really want to do. But most people don't love what they're currently doing. I wasn't, even though I was a top performer, and I wanted a different way. I wanted to travel and work and not work when I wanted to. And I think everybody should have that opportunity. I think swing trading is one of the best ways to do that. I think teaming up with ex-Wall Street traders is one of the best way to do that. That's what worked for me. That's why I do what I do. I'm sure other people did real estate. I have a friend that makes $700,000 a year doing Airbnb arbitrage. Everything works. You just need to pick what you want to do, what aligns with your lifestyle, the team you want to surround yourself with, and how you want to win. That's it.
Love it. Hey, one little kind of side question, kind of a fun question, but kind of interesting. So, Nancy Pelosi's like outperformed the market like crazy these last, 10 years or so. You guys ever be like, all right, so follow the let's call it the smart money, right? Or the insider money. I mean, this is kind of a known thing, but what do you think about that kind of thing?
I think greed will ruin people, and you need to remind yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it coming from a good place or is it coming from a dark place? And the reality is a lot of people's motivation, they can't stop, right? I know, and people can't even stop when they have nothing, right? They gamble and they go to the casino and they gamble their life away. They buy lottery tickets. You have to decide what your why is and then decide what route you want to go down. If you want to be a bad person and break the law and do insider trading and do all that, my friend's dad went to jail for 2 years, tennis court jail we call it because it's not dangerous, white collar prison, but it's not worth it because now he can never manage capital again. He was managing hundreds of millions of dollars in the Silicon Valley, big hedge fund. I'm not going to say his name because I feel like that would piss him off, but he can't manage money anymore. Now he kind of does some venture capital stuff because that's all he can do. And he's still rich, don't get me wrong, but his reputation is ruined. Yeah. Right. So I'm all about doing right by people, keeping a clean state, following the rules. When I say no one, sometimes you've heard me say this of people that have listened to me before. You can't get to the top without breaking the rules. Right.
What I meant by all that was like Nancy Pelosi stuff is all public knowledge, right? Like I believe so, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but and they show these are her trades, and it's all out there, and there's people that track the trades, and then they make it alongside of her, and then they do really well, and it's so whatever she she would say it's not insider information. She would say whatever. It's just she has smart advisors or whatever, right? But she keeps outperforming the market. So yeah, of course, not insinuating that we do insider trading, but more so I guess it'd be outsiders looking in to those that potentially might be doing insider trading. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Taxifornia. I moved out of there a couple of years ago. Not a big fan of Nancy Pelosi. And so I just think I just get an interesting take from someone like yourself who's in that world is all really what I mean by that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Where'd you live in California?
Mostly the Bay Area. So Fremont, Mission, San Jose, and Sacramento.
Okay.
And did some college basketball down in San Diego and then Sacramento. And then my whole life grew up there and
Nice.
building houses with my parents and real estate and investing and stuff. So
Yeah.
I have, good family members that, were down roommates with the Google founders from Stanford, and they started their own tech companies and sold it. And so that world, and I have clients that are in that world. So it's just, a little bit part of my life, but, it's just, it's fascinating. Most of what we do is real estate investing, that's what we're really good at, but we guess we're bringing on experts like yourself to figure out other alternative stuff, that might be of interest. So, we're way over time though. Kam, are you ready for the lightning round?
I am. Go ahead.
All right. Number one book you've recommended the most in the past year.
Number one book, Laughing at Wall Street, Chris Camillo.
Cool. I like that. I like that name. Question number two, what are you most curious about right now?
What am I most curious about right now? How AI is going to change trading.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, that makes sense. Question number three, number one leadership quote or theme that you strive to live by.
Leadership quote or theme that I strive to live by. That's an interesting one. I don't have one for you. What's an example? Yeah.
That's all right. I mean, there's like the arena one, right? It's like not the critic who counts, who's throwing the rocks, the person in the arena, but the man in the arena with the blood and the sweat and working through the toil. Even though they fail, I'm kind of piecemealing this.
Yeah.
They at least they tried valiantly, right? That kind of thing, or just a theme like learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Right. If you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. Work harder on yourself, you'll make a fortune. Those are just themes or just quotes, but maybe someone will come back to you. But question number four, maybe the best AI tool that you're using now, and how that's helping you to be more productive or more efficient, or just is there something that's a go-to for you right now?
The algorithm that we built. That's by far the best one. Something public to look at markets though. Unusual Whales is cool. It's a subscription that I think everybody should use if they're just starting out.
Okay, awesome. After all, and that's really it. And the last question is, after all your success, Kam, help with the people you've helped, how do you best stay centered in your values and encourage to charge forward to reach new heights?
How do I best stay centered in my values and what?
Yeah, and encourage to charge forward to reach even higher heights after you accomplish so much.
Yeah, honestly, gratitude has become very big in my life, and it's become very natural, and it used to not be natural. So when was this? This was probably during COVID when the world just kind of went to shit. I used to go for a walk every day at 6 a.m. and just remind myself, hey, I may be in a dark place right now, but I have a lot of good things going on, and I still wake up and practice that to this day. So just gratitude, prayer, and just understanding that life is not to be taken for granted, and everything that you're doing should come from a good place. And as long as you're doing things with a good heart, the world will continue to reward you.
Awesome. Hey, Kam Dasani, I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for sharing your wisdom, your insight, really introducing and showing a lot of us, including me, a whole new world of what we're talking about here for building some wealth, accelerating wealth. I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, help a lot of people get some more freedom with their time, their energy, location, all of those things. For our listeners who want to get in touch with you one last time, and or viewers on our YouTube channels, because this is also on YouTube, where can they connect with Kam?
Yep. So best place, shoot me a DM at Profit with Kam. So Profit with KAM. We have the 14-day trial for your listeners. I do this on every podcast I go on that I feel like it makes sense. This is one of them. And I know if you guys join, you'll get free 14 days to see that we are who we say we are. So looking forward to meeting you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Kam. Also want to thank all of our listeners or viewers for watching or listening to another episode of the Build It to Billions podcast. Also streaming on Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast and YouTube channels. We're on this journey with you to scale from millions to billions. So we give more all of it away to help MVPs unlock more freedom, multiply impact. I want to encourage you to take some action today. And as well, if you have a massive capital gain on a business, real estate, Bitcoin, stock, and you're looking at huge capital gains taxes, go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. We'd love the opportunity to help you out to build a plan to defer that tax and perhaps even diversify using strategies like Kam just talked about today. Go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com and or pick up the book, Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan with Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. And it's my journey basically from the Bay Area in Sacramento, California after the 2008 crash, figuring out ways to eliminate the need for the 1031 exchange and build wealth on my own terms, on our clients' own terms without any timing restrictions. Go to Amazon to pick that up or capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. Appreciate everyone listening or watching. Please share this with somebody, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.
You have just listened to another information-packed episode of Capital Gains Tax Solutions with Brett Swarts. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found it helpful. Visit capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to access the show notes and to access more resources. Don't forget to leave a review and join us again next time.